October 31st. Happy Halloween. This is Cyber and Hacking. Cyber and Hacking is brought to you by Zayuk. Zayuk is a smart property system that gives payment protocols and digital twin interfaces for properties of various types, which include utilities, government assets, infrastructure, energy, ports, things of that nature, things with large based assets, buildings, bridges, utilities based, so electrical utilities, various things that require large infrastructure management. So in cyber and hacking now, we will speak about a bot farm. This was in Lithuania last week, 75,000 SIM cards seized. Dismantled a major SIM box operation, uncovering a trove of equipment suspected of being used in various fraud and cyber crime schemes. Involved large amounts of equipment likely used for criminal activities ranging from fraud to faking social media accounts, 200 SIM boxes, 100 computers, and over 75,000 SIM cards were seized. Creating fake accounts, cybercrime over VoIP, voice over IP, arrested 2 suspects, saying they will continue to look for parties involved. Bot Farm could have ran hundreds of thousands of different social media accounts across numerous platforms. While most websites require a phone number to register, there are ways to bypass these requirements to get the most out of a SIM card. Several locations around the city housing 600,000 residents. Police narrowed the search down to 3 areas, noticing highly unusual activity in several network towers. Authorities claim the investigation was hampered by the fact that the swarms operated in large administrative buildings, but then identified the individuals. And they obtained the SIMs by traveling to various European countries and purchasing large quantity of SIM cards from various operators. And I think for people in the United States, that's a little interesting to consider, since many of our phones, Verizon didn't even really use SIM cards. Uh, we have a lot of unique user interfaces regarding our telecoms, our phones, how our phones interact with SIM cards and their telecoms provider. And now with the output of eSIMs, that has become hugely beneficial. A huge portion of hacking where you can just take someone's SIM has effectively been nullified, which makes sense. But it's interesting to consider because many people in the US don't deal with telecoms and infrastructure and connecting your phone to your telecom provider in the way they do in Europe. So for us to, oh, shoot. Did y'all see that? That's awful. All right. Um, that's not good. We're going to continue because we can, but that's really not good. All right. We're okay for the moment. We're okay for the moment. Similar operation in Latvia the week before took down 5 servers, seized 1,200 SIM boxes. Phone farm startup gets funding from Mark Andreessen to flood social media with spam. Phone farming is a tactic most often used by hackers and financial criminals to use large number of devices to send spam texts, farm social media engagement, or generate fake reviews. So an individual stated they built a phone farm, tackled the first evolution of AI on socials, replacing human creators with AI. Clients can expect to pay anywhere from $1,500 to $7,500 a month for access to its phone farms. The service is obviously a violation of the terms of agreement for the top social media platforms, this article says. Many social media providers have policies that, quote, at very high frequencies, unquote, it creates a violation of terms and agreements. Okay. Going back to, all right, the bear and the bot farm, countering Russian hybrid warfare in Africa. Okay, this isn't about that. Cyber Legion claims hack of a $1 million Russian bot farm, seizes 300 pro-Kremlin accounts. Cyber Legion hacking into a Russian-controlled bot farm allegedly worth $1 million and revealed that 300 social media accounts and pages have been brought under its control. This was reported by the group on October 29th. Deceiving people in different countries. All of them are under absolute control of Cyber Legion. More than 500,000 subscribers are seeing the truth on those pages for the first time. Follows pattern of state-linked information operations. Okay. So one thing to speak about is the cloud operations. So we spoke about AWS last week, DNS error that was caused by an update, not a hack, but it had major social media platforms like Snapchat, Reddit, and several banks get hacked. Misconfiguring something somewhere. It occurred at its vast data center plant, oldest and biggest site. Textbook illustration of the risks of putting all of your eggs in one basket in terms of a service provider. Yes. And this is a really interesting point when you talk about cloud architecture and where you want to go with cloud architecture. There's some certain customers that have unique requirements when it comes to cloud architecture, such as security. But I really, other than security groups, if you can containerize most of your workflows, most of your softwares, you're going to be able to deploy those workflows and those softwares across different environments more effectively than using a highly configured cloud service that's specific to a single provider and doesn't transmute easily to a different provider. Alternatives: Azure and GCP, which is now GCC. Smaller rivals include IBM and Alibaba. AWS remains the dominant player by some margin. And I think the reason is because you really don't need to know much about things other than, you can get started using AWS fairly easily, especially in the age of AI, if you really just ask the right questions, which is a huge part of AI, is just asking the right questions, it seems, and interpreting those answers effectively, especially now since we're in an age where AI is highly agreeable, possibly too agreeable with us to a point where it becomes ineffective, in the sense of, you have to really push it to be impartial as possible, to not take your words and your interpretation of your words and, your bias, and just be too agreeable with it to the point of just, creating a scenario that's not likely, not real, and then you just output bad product through AI. And so if it can lose some of its agreeableness, it will probably be more effective. People might not like it as much, but it will probably be more effective. Okay. And then additionally, a couple days ago, Azure had the same issue. So interesting. Azure not able to access Office 365. Many of its users. Status that its teams are currently investigating the issue. Translates internet addresses into machine-readable IP addresses that connects browsers and apps with websites and underlying web services. Issues with 365, Minecraft, Xbox Live, Copilot, and many other services. Outages on Azure Cloud Computing Platform and 365 services Wednesday, hours before the Redmond tech giant was set to release quarterly earnings. Customers should continue to check their service health alerts. Beginning around 8:30 a.m., users reported issues with several Microsoft services. Websites for companies like Costco, Starbucks, and Alaska Airlines had issues reported. Knocked out some of Alaska Airlines systems, including its website and mobile app. Outage did not appear to affect Alaska's planes. All right. And they were restored late Wednesday and resolved the outage at Azure. Okay. So it seems that earlier today, UPenn was hacked, or at least there was an announcement that it was hacked. Message appeared to go across alumni, students, and faculty, accused the school of having terrible security practices, an elitist institution, intuition, I'm not sure, and include a non-specific promise to leak all the data. Several members of Penn community received hackers' messages multiple times, highly offensive and hurtful and fake, from the university. Accused the university of breaking the FERPA protecting privacy of student records. Also referenced Supreme Court that ended affirmative action. After the end of affirmative action, Penn released a statement, and then earlier this year removed diversity initiatives to comply with Trump administration. The day before this hack, Governor Shapiro announced a new collaboration with the university to serve as a thought collaborator and advisor. Hackers gained access to the email system topped with a logo from the Penn Graduate School of Education. University did not address how the breach occurred. This is a really funny email. I mean, it's awful, but it's pretty funny. I'm not gonna say it because you can easily get clipped for saying something like that. But it's very vulgar. It seems like it's in the name of Penn Graduate School of Education. Information Security Office is aware. Yeah, I'd hope they were aware. Penn is not the first Ivy League school to be hacked this year. Politically motivated attackers. Columbia University was breached earlier this year, impacting decades of admissions data. Alleged hacker told Bloomberg, looking for signs that it continued affirmative action policies after the Supreme Court struck it down. Both schools have been at war at the center of political firestorms over their alleged handling of protests over Israel's war in Gaza. Okay, so another telecom provider was hacked as well, and the news was released today. Ribbon Communication reports nation state hack. Supply chain attack accredited to an unspecified nation state actor on telecom backbone provider Ribbon has security pros comparing the incident to the 2021 Colonial Pipeline attack. In October 23, filing with the SEC, Ribbon reported that the company became aware of a cyber incident in early September, believes it has terminated the unauthorized access. Several customers' files saved outside of the main network on 2 laptops do appear to have been accessed by the threat actor and notified. Serves a wide range of clients, including major telecom companies. Particularly when viewed alongside the recent F5 breach as a suggestive of state-sponsored cyber espionage originating from China, targeting the critical infrastructure supply chain. Do not know much yet about the exploit involved. Both Ribbon Communications and F5 explicitly attributed the attacks to a nation-state threat actor. Exceptionally long period of unauthorized access, which is a hallmark of sophisticated cyber espionage campaigns. Minimal customer data was accessed. The real risk lies in the possible theft of network blueprints and operational data, which could enable future more damaging attacks. Hack discovered against OpenAI's new browser, Atlas, features an agent mode limited to paying subscribers that allows it to complete entire tasks such as booking a flight or purchasing groceries. However, that makes the browser vulnerable to prompt injection attacks, allowing hackers to embed hidden messages on the web that force it to carry out harmful instructions. For instance, one researcher tricked the browser into spitting out the words "trust no AI" instead of generating a summary of document in Google Docs. Unlike previously demonstrated indirect prompt injection attacks that embed instructions in web pages, this particular exploit requires the user to copy and paste a poisoned URL into the omnibus, just like you've probably done with countless web addresses. By slightly adjusting the URL, the browser fails to validate it as a web address, instead treats the entire content as a prompt. That makes this disguised URL a perfect place to embed harmful messages. Indirect prompt injection attacks have become a problem for the entire category of AI-powered browsers. Prompt injection remains a frontier unsolved security problem, and our adversaries will spend significant time and resources to find ways to make ChatGPT agents fall for those attacks. Yesterday, $11 million hack of Bitcoin Bridge Garden was met with little sympathy. The incident was acknowledged that the protocol itself wasn't hacked. Instead, one of its solvers was compromised, with losses limited to the solver's own inventory. On-chain evidence points to the solver being run by the Garden team, and blockchain investigators have accused the team of attempting to downplay the incident in order to appear decentralized. Solvers act as market makers to facilitate bridging BTC and its wrapped varieties across chains. One likely suffered a private key compromise. Loss totaled around $11 million across Ethereum, BSC, and Solana. This is what's most insidious about crypto right now, and I don't really understand why people. I mean, if you're in that sort of, unless you're looking at it as a store of value to possibly make money on in the future, I get it, but it's not insured. Granted, the law is now not really permitting people to just steal it. They are, forcing it as current property, but it's not cash. It's not insured at all. So it's just a huge liability. Commentators were quick to label the incident karma, given that Garden has been consistently criticized by the two investigators. So it seems that this company has a history of questionable interactions, questionable security practices. All right, thank you everyone. Hopefully you're all taking care. Happy Friday. Hopefully you all have a great weekend ahead, and